And just like Arnold said, we are indeed back with yet another episode of James Cameron 101.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to James Cameron.
I almost bailed on being a filmmaker. It's about sitting in that big dark room with all those other people you don't know, and something's gonna come up on that screen that's gonna take you somewhere.
I'm the king of the world!
Today, we are celebrating this film right here in a very interesting way. We're going to be lampooning it a little bit. We're going to be reading some bad reviews of The Terminator, which boggles my mind beyond belief because obviously I'm a James Cameron fan. I'm a Terminator fan. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And not everybody agrees that this is a classic masterpiece, near perfect, if not perfect film. So we're going to be reading some of those reviews here tonight. And you'll notice I'm saying we because I am not doing this alone. It would not be nearly as fun to do this alone. We have a very, very special guest who is joining us tonight. Her name is Shawn Schepps. And if you're familiar with the film, you'll recognize that name. She played the character of Nancy in the film. Sarah's friend. We'll ask Shawn if she thinks her and Sarah were friends outside of work. Of course, really the only time we see her and Nancy together are at work, but we'll dive into that for a second here, figure that out. But we're going to also just talk about Shawn's career, what she's doing now, and then we'll get into the bad reviews and hopefully have a really good time tonight. I'm very excited. So let me make sure everything's good here. Yes, it looks like everything's good. So please help me welcome the one, the only, the person who told Sarah,
"You're dead, honey."
Shawn Schepps.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for agreeing to do this because I know there was some hesitant feelings about it, but hopefully everything goes smooth here tonight, and then you'll walk away going, "Hey, you know what? That wasn't as bad as I thought it was." So let us dive into that question that I proposed here just now. I don't know how much you've thought about this. You actually haven't even seen the whole film all the way through, correct?
No, I have not.
How come?
I don't think when I was acting I ever liked watching myself on the screen.
Gotcha. Yeah, you hear that a lot with actors that they don't like to watch the finished product. You know, they'll make it and then they'll let it out into the world and let as the expression goes, let the chips fall where they may. And that sounds like that's what you did here. But obviously it's a phenomenal film. Do you know how far you've gotten into the film? Can you recall?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, like it's on cable and I'll watch it for 10 minutes but not I don't know the story.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I know the premise.
Right. You know that Arnold is the Terminator comes back through time.
Yeah, but I don't know the storytelling of the actual film.
Interesting. So you've never seen any of the sequels either?
No.
Wow. Yeah, there's 6 films total. There's a TV series. It's crazy. And now there's a new animated show coming out this year on Netflix. So this thing is very, very popular. But I know when I reached out to you, part of why you were hesitant was because you said, I only worked on this thing for 2 days.
I did. I mean, it was a very low budget shoot. I think I worked on it for 2 days. It could have been 1. It was a long time ago, but yeah, I was only around at that location of a restaurant and then a back room.
Right. Yep, that's where you tell her you're dead, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think, because honestly, I mean, among the fandom, the Terminator fandom, James Cameron fandom, that is that is a very popular line. I mean, it's not the "I'll be back" line, but it is a very popular line. You're dead, honey. Like, did you think that that was even like, did you care about that line, or was that just like,
Well,
just say it?
when you're doing the work, you just do the work.
Right.
You don't really think about anything else, or that it was going to be, go from this low budget little movie to this sort of thing, big thing, uh, part of the sort of lexicon of movies. So no, I would just show up and do the work.
Can you remember anything that, because you got to work with James Cameron, and
Yeah.
that's insane to me, because this guy is like a legend amongst, the movie industry, and you got to work with him before he really was James Cameron. This was, all intents and purposes, his first film. I know he did Piranha 2, and that's up for debate whether or not that is truly his first film, but he really recognizes the Terminator as his first film. So you got to work with him when he was still trying to make a name for himself. Do you remember, like, do you have any fun stories, any kind of little tidbits that you remember?
You know what? He was very energetic, very positive, hard worker, and really nice. I know he didn't end up being really nice, but back in the day when he was just starting out, he was friendly and had a sense of humor, and he was fun to work with.
And you got to work with Linda Hamilton.
She's a doll. She's
Have you,
just so sweet, kind, funny, nice. Just she's a real easy gang.
have you stayed in touch with her at all, or no?
No, it was like I said, 2 days work,
In, out.
No,
Wow.
you don't
Wow.
usually hang out once you're done with your job.
Right. And did you get to meet Arnold at all? Was he on the set?
No.
No. And
Mm-mm.
Michael Biehn, same with him. Michael Biehn, you never got to see Michael Biehn.
No, he wasn't. No. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Because we were just shooting the beginning of the movie.
Right. So do you think, back to that question, do you think, I know this is like nerdy, kind of sweaty fandom, but do you think Sarah and Nancy were friends outside of work? Or do you think it was a work only friendship, and then once they left, they never interacted with each other ever again?
Friendly.
Friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the stuff people love, and I know there was a novel written about the film, which goes into greater detail because it is a book. And I haven't gotten to the part, I've actually started reading the novel, but I haven't gotten to the part with Sarah and Nancy. So maybe the book expands on it a little bit. Maybe it'll say some lines of, outside of work, they, hang out or whatever, but just wanted to pick your brain there, see if you did any characterization beforehand. Was that something you did? Was it like big characterization, or just say the lines and
No, I mean, when you're on a low budget shoot, there isn't time to like rehearse or get into characterizations. I mean, you just have to do your own work, and then you show up and you do whatever the director asks you to do and block it and shoot it, and that's it.
Now, after the Terminator, you did a couple more movies. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, that was it. How come you left the movie business behind?
I was bored. I didn't leave the movie business behind.
You were
I
bored.
left the acting business behind. I was bored. I was bored of going to auditions. I was bored of being, like the third best friend and sitting in like a honey wagon trailer the size of a toilet. I was bored of waiting around. And so I wrote a play, and the play went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I thought, I like this writing thing. This is good. And I wrote another play, and someone from Disney saw it. And that's how Encino Man was born.
Okay, so would you? So you've written plays. Are you a? Do you consider yourself a playwright or is it writer?
Writer.
Writer.
I
Okay.
mean, Encino Man wasn't a play. It was a
Oh,
movie.
okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I haven't seen that.
Your research.
I know. Yep. Damn it. Encino Man. When did that come out?
30 years ago.
Okay, so 94, somewhere around there.
Encino Man, Drumline, Son-in-Law, Wheeze, Drop Dead Diva, My Own Pilots. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You wrote the movie Drumline,
Yeah.
the one with Nick Cannon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have seen that movie. I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so you much prefer the kind of just writing the thing and then giving it off, and do you have any kind of creative say when that happens, when you hand over the screenplay?
In feature, well, you get a lot of notes. And then you have to do the notes, then you turn it back in, and then you get more notes. And then you turn it back in, and then they fire you. And then they hire another writer, and they have to do a whole bunch of notes, and they turn in their draft, and they're given more notes. And anyway, so that's how that works. But I was the original writer of Drumline and wrote 75% of it. So, what did you ask me?
Do you have like any kind of say as the movie's being made, or is it sort of like you wrote it and you're done?
No, not in film. In TV, you do. In film, the director is king, queen, and in TV, the writer, producer, creator is king, queen.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, unless you're like an auteur, right? Like a James Cameron, or I don't know, a Stanley Kubrick, or those people that write and direct kind of thing. Obviously, they're gonna have say over what they wrote.
Right. But again, in movies, it really doesn't matter because the director's king. That's all. Bottom line.
Bottom line. So what are you working on something right now? Are you able to share, or no?
No, I'm pitching something, but I'm not able to share.
Cool. Well, look, I love, I love hearing that you're still active in it. From the chit chat we were doing back and forth, it sounded to me like you were just sort of totally removed from the business. But I love hearing that you.
Yeah, no, just from the acting part.
Okay, cool. Well, let us get into the main part of why we're here tonight. And we're going to be reading some of these reviews that I've selected from IMDb, which is, as you're familiar with, but maybe not everyone is, the Internet Movie Database. These are reviews that people posted. And I figured we'll take turns going back and forth, and then we'll offer up some commentary again for the audience. Shawn has not seen the whole movie all the way through, but I did want to make sure she thought of it as a classic, and you hearted the comment. So to me, that read as, yes, I do think of it as a classic. Like, I understand why it is so appreciated. So that's what we're going to do. So let me pull up the first one here. And would you like to kick things off, or do you want me to take the first one?
Sure.
You'll do it?
I can read.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So this one is rated 2 out of 10. This person gave this movie 2 out of 10. And this is what they wrote.
I could excuse the horrendous visual effects and the less than decent plot, but the acting is just the worst I've ever seen. It's extremely awkward and below an amateur level. Why were there no other people auditioning? Maybe in the 80s, when this was a new movie, maybe in the 80s when this movie was new, people overlooked the dreadful acting and focused on the constant and excessive violent action. But looking back at this movie today, I can't believe anyone has rated it above a 3. And why does the robot have a German accent? Obviously, Arnold was picked solely based on his body and not his incredible acting skills. But realistically, there would be no reason for them to program the robot to have anything other than an American.
Well, there you go. So I just want to comment quickly, and I actually haven't read all of these. Like I read the beginning, and then I was like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't read the whole thing. Cameron has actually commented on why Arnold is cast in the film. He actually had some other people casted in the film. Lance Henriksen was originally going to play the Terminator, and he actually found the paradox or the irony of Arnold funny. He found it, he's like, the Terminator is supposed to be an infiltrator. He's supposed to be able to blend into the crowd so he can pull off his mission. And the fact that Arnold is this giant bodybuilder guy is sort of funny. And that's why Cameron actually cast him. He thought that was just like a funny thing. And, I think Cameron has also said that, it's a movie. The other thing that I took away from that, they kept talking about the acting, and maybe you can comment more on it. But to me, it's sort of like when you watch a movie from the 50s, obviously nobody talks like that, or nobody really acts like that anymore. Maybe they did back then, I don't know. But it's sort of, you watch it for the time it was made in. That's always how I've approached movies that are, older. You watch them knowing that this was filmed in 84. So, I mean, the hairstyles alone, don't exist anymore. So that kind of interaction. And I actually think it's a pretty well acted film considering the budget, like you said. I don't think there's really a criticism of the acting personally. I don't know. Do you think there's, from what you can remember?
Look, it's a low budget movie. So, I mean, Linda is a wonderful actress.
I agree.
And continues to be, and just, she's stellar. But there were some other people not so good. And I thought, I mean, as much as I saw of it, I thought Arnold was ridiculous.
He is pretty ridiculous. He is pretty ridiculous. But that's, I think, also why he has very few lines in the movie.
Yeah.
Considering, I think there was like just a few years prior, he did a movie, Hercules in New York, that they completely dubbed him over because he could not speak good English at that time. So
yeah, he's a terrible actor. He's never been good.
Yeah, he really hasn't, honestly. No, I mean, I think it was Michael Biehn, because I just watched a documentary about aliens, and Michael actually said this. He said, I don't think Arnold would be upset with me saying this, but Arnold has always been Arnold in the movies, and that's why he's so good, because he's not trying to do anything other than what he knows he can do.
Yeah, he's a personality.
Exactly. We'll go to this next one, and I'll take this one. They gave this a 1 out of 10. And this is what they wrote. This film is really bad and badly aged. Not for people who like visual effects or strong plot. Bad editing, bad effects, terrible script, and characters you do not care for. This film has aged like a dog turn in a milky basket. I think they meant to write dog turd.
Turd, yeah.
But they wrote turn. This film has aged like a dog turd in a milky basket. I think Wallace and Gromit's version is a lot better. I'm very unfamiliar with Wallace and Gromit. Do you know what they're referencing?
No.
Me neither. And I love the title here. He'll not be back on my screen. I mean, look, bad editing, bad effects, again, low budget. I don't think people really understand that this movie was incredibly low budget. So
no, I don't think people do understand. And I think that, special effects back then opposed to special effects now, it's a whole different universe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've actually had, I don't know if you met him at all on the set, the makeup artist Jeff Dawn, he worked right next to Stan Winston, but I've actually had him on the podcast a bunch of times, and he actually won the Academy Award for the second film. So I think that's a testament that from T1 to T2, T2 wins best makeup. Like,
Well, yeah, from T1 to T2, they had more money,
oh yeah, a lot more money.
or else he wouldn't have been working on it.
So, yeah, again, I mean, I think people watch it all. Really, it all depends on what mood you're in when you watch a movie. And look, I'm the first person to blame here. I've watched really good movies in a very poor mood. Like I was in a poor mood, and I don't think you should do that when you watch a movie. I think for the most part, try to watch a movie when you're in a really good mood, because otherwise, I think a lot of people walk away having these kinds of views on it. So,
Well, I think if you're in a really bad mood, you should watch a thriller or an action movie, because those movies are always a bummer.
okay, so this next one, you get the reins on here. They gave it a 3 out of 10, and this is what they had to say.
Not Cameron's best. And I'm sure this movie gets high ratings due to nostalgia, which I don't have for the 80s. I was born in the 90s, and my favorite movie from the 80s is Blade Runner. It is a timeless work of art. You could watch it today and still it would move you. Terminator does not do that. Very dated, rather boring. I think the second one might do better, or so I've heard. Thank God 2 years later, when Aliens came out, Cameron had stepped up his game. If you're a person who doesn't idolize everything that came out in the 80s, congratulations. You're a normal human being. That movie is ass. Again, look, it was a really low budget. I mean, we were shooting fast, to get it done in a time for the studio is, and Gail Anherd was there, she's such a nice woman, but, cracking the whip, making sure it was working out. I think when people see that iteration of Terminator, they think it's crappy because, yeah, Blade Runner was probably 10 times the budget.
Probably, yeah.
And they probably had time to make it.
Right.
And that's not the situation with the first Terminator.
Also, you brought up a really good point there where I think people, because this is a franchise now, there are 6 films in this franchise, and obviously each film gets better. Apparently, I think T2 is the best in terms of how the visual effects and everything look, but some people would argue the newest one looks the best because it came out in 2019. Mm-hmm. But I think people watch Terminator Dark Fate, the last one, which is so fast paced, CGI everywhere, explosions. And then if you go back to the first one, it is it is kind of slow. It is kind of, there's not a lot. Yeah, it's basic.
It's basic, yep. Yeah. It's called a low dose show.
A low dose show. I've never heard that before.
Low dose show. Like money, like dough,
Oh, dough. Okay, dough.
A low dose show.
Low dose show.
And it was.
Yep. This next one gave it a 4 out of 10, so we're getting a little better. I don't have anything higher than a 5 on this. This person writes, "It's straight up not good. Every animation part, like Arnold with his mask, is horrible." I love that they call it a mask. The action is not that good, and I get that it was amazing for its time. Just watch Indiana Jones, which came out only 2 years later, and special effects and action is 1,000 times better. Why does this movie get an 8.1? And I love how they don't put a question mark there. The only good thing about this movie is the story, and even then, it's not that good. Another weird part about this movie is the hero. He's just not good. He acts weird all the time, and I'd honestly just prefer Arnie to be the hero. With as much crap as I'm giving this movie, I still enjoyed it for what it was. But what I'm saying is, God, is it hard to rewatch it. It is just terrible, and I don't really recommend it to anyone. That person was back and forth. They liked it, and then they didn't like it, and then they're back to not liking it. What's funny is Arnold was supposed to be Kyle Reese, who's the protector. He was supposed to be that role.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He was supposed to play the hero, and then Lance Henriksen was going to be the Terminator. And then I think the story goes when Cameron and him met, Arnold only kept focusing on the Terminator because he was more drawn to that. And the rest is
Terminator. Yes.
The Terminator.
Yeah.
Really quickly, what is if you have a favorite Arnold movie? What is your favorite Arnold movie, or do you have?
I don't have one. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a good actor. I don't think he was a good governor. So there you go.
You're in California, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
There. Yep. So you were not a fan of him as the governor.
No.
Honestly, I mean, let's be real. How did he win that? He won it because he was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, right? and money, a lot of money being poured into his campaign. And yeah, but you know, he almost bankrupted California, so
yikes. And he was reelected, wasn't he? He had 2 terms.
Did he?
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
He might have. I can't remember.
You're like, that's a memory I let go.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, this next one.
I'm not enamored with the man. I am enamored with his ambition. And it stops there. I
mean, that is a good point. That, you know, whether or not you're a fan of him, the fact of like his success story is pretty damn incredible when you realize that he came from Austria, you know, and sounded the way he sounded and really made a name for himself. So, I mean, yeah, that's a great point. You know, no matter where you fall, fan or not a fan, you have to give the guy some props, I think. So, this next one is we're back to 1 out of 10. And here we go.
Really, I wanted my money back. I wanted my money and time back for this piece of garbage movie. The quality of special effects was below the pain threshold, even by 1984 standards. And don't get me started on the acting. Schwarzenegger's robot performance, with a total of maybe 10 lines, was probably the most convincing acting in the entire movie. The rest of the cast was wooden to the point of amateurish. And whoever thought of casting Linda Hamilton as the beautiful little leading lady should get their head examined. Not only isn't she particularly pretty, which makes it ridiculous that men would fall for her left and right, but her mannerism, grimacing, constantly screaming, weeping, and weak attitude were so provoking. I started rooting for the Terminator to finish her off in the end. Wow. What an absolutely annoying performance of a weak, dumb, and useless female lead. Seriously, how is this movie rated so high? All right. That's just a bunch of misogyny there.
Right.
That's someone who doesn't like women because she was so pretty.
100%.
She was so pretty. And whatever screaming or that he says that she did, you know, is what the director tells her to do. Right. So, these people are idiots.
Well, and you haven't seen the movie all the way through. I've seen it a bunch of times, and I don't actually think there's a lot of screaming from Sarah Connor. I don't think she screams too much. Next one, 3 out of 10. Here we go. One of the most overrated movies of all time. Preface. I rate films on 3 factors. Was it entertaining? Was it impactful on my mind? Or both? There are numerous earlier films with better special effects. Alien, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. 2, the storyline is ridiculous. Time travel, even if possible, would mean time is circular with no beginning or end, or the traveler to the past creates an alternate time continuum. Those are the only acceptable hypothetical fictional realities. Why would it benefit artificial intelligence in 2049 to prevent the leader of the resistance from being born? Just continue killing the humans now. 3, there's no beginning or end. How can you be alive to send someone into the past who, until he is your biological father, that means time is an infinite loop and future and past are relative, and it's dumb. I never got why my fellow 10 to 15-year-old friends, well, there you go, right there, 10 to 15-year-old, so fell in love with this to be a franchise. I can't believe it's rated an 8 out of 10 by reviewers. Judgment Day was more entertaining and much better. The only real thing that made sense there was that last part. Most people do think T2 is the superior film. I'm actually a little more in favor of the first film. I like the horror elements. It's essentially a horror film.
Yeah.
But
Horror thriller, yeah.
As a writer yourself, have you ever written anything involving time travel?
No, I've played with time. Like
Yep.
you have to sit in your basement and make charts of the time travel of Terminator. That's just ridiculous. That sucks. That too sucks.
Yeah, well, they're a little too involved because, I mean, look, time travel doesn't make sense, but that's the beauty of this movie is it's really you only see them arrive in 1984. Like there's not a lot of, as the franchise went on, that's really where, like, there's a movie, the 5th movie, Terminator Genesis. That movie is convoluted beyond belief because they're jumping forward in time and then they're jumping back in time. Cameron was smart. He was like, yeah, there's time travel, but just a little bit. And then the rest of the movie is 1984. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty smart because, yeah, it can get confusing when you start dabbling in time travel, but I don't think it's that confusing in the first couple movies. It starts to get confusing as the franchise goes on. And again, 10 to 15-year-olds. So what? We're probably dealing with a 13-year-old that wrote that that review. So
yeah, so interested in time travel, you should just smoke another bowl. Get on with it.
Get on with it. Also, did he write that during the pandemic? Let's see here. He did. That was written during the pandemic, so he was also stuck at home. Let's see here. We got a couple more here. This next one is, where is it? Here, right here. Here you go.
Ick. This movie is just plain bad. Interesting plot line, but bad acting and horrible dialogue just killed it. It was like watching a B movie. Honestly, I couldn't have written the script for it. IMDb wants me to submit at least 10 lines of text. This movie was not worth that kind of time. It's a B movie, pure and simple. Beat 'em up, blow 'em up, shoot 'em up. What more needs to be said? The movie's just plain bad. Interesting plot line. Hold on a minute. Oh,
okay.
again.
Oh, okay. I see.
He says it again. Okay. Interesting plot line. I was
Yeah.
just checking because I thought maybe he said that it was a bad plot line, and then I'd be like, well, now it's making no sense at all. Okay. Interesting plot line, but the bad acting and horrible dialogue just killed it.
Yeah.
It's a B. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, it's because remember at the beginning he was like IMDb needs at least 10 lines of text. So he literally just took his review and copied and pasted it to meet the requirements.
I mean, it is a B movie.
That it is
a low budget movie.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
people, and it took off. So it's like people obviously liked the conceit of that movie.
Right.
So, chill out.
Chill out, dude. And that was written in 2015. So that was right around the time of Terminator Genesis. So that's pretty interesting. This next one, we got a couple more here. White masculinity and a shoot 'em up. Like the second movie, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, this one also has little value. So this person doesn't even like T2. That's interesting. Some may revere it culturally, but they are clearly mistaken. It's a violent movie which showcases murder and white masculinity. I would never recommend this piece of trash to anyone. There's much more than this short paragraph to describe this film, however. This science fiction film, directed by James Cameron, has become a classic despite what I have previously stated. The horrid violence is not the worst part, but rather, even the time travel to the past is not very interesting either. Other movies have much better forms of time travel than this film. You could say that the film is, like the New York Times said when it was first released, B movie with flair, or like the Pittsburgh Press says, artsy ugliness. Both of those views have validity. I would add that this film pushed Arnold Schwarzenegger further to stardom and is one of the films he is most known for, not surprisingly. Otherwise, I don't think this is worth reviewing this film any further, as I'd rather review more worthwhile films, with this film definitely deserving a rating of 1 out of 10, one of the lowest ratings I have ever given a movie.
And what he says, arguably, this movie pushed Schwarzenegger into stardom.
Right.
There's no argument about it.
Yeah.
It happened. That's what that movie did for him.
Yep. When they say white masculinity, I really don't understand.
What's interesting is they're saying it in 2012. And it's probably leftist critic. So it's someone on the left, and they're probably like, everyone's white and male, except for Linda Hamilton.
Well, honestly, not everyone in the film is white. They're like the lieutenant or the chief of police. He's black. And that's a very important role. So I don't understand what they're getting at here. But we got a couple more here, and then we're gonna wrap it up here. We got 10 total. I just want to see if I'm hitting all the ones. Okay, this one's funny. This one is funny because they rated it 1 out of 10, and this is what they wrote. And it's your turn here.
Okay. No, this movie is so interesting. Well, I mean, I think we could read sarcasm into that.
Right.
If it's a 1 out of 10, that is definitely somebody being dry.
Right. I thought it was funny because it's a 1 out of 10. Nice. This movie is so interesting.
Yeah. They're kidding around.
They're playing. This last one. And honestly, I don't know if you got to this part of the movie, but there is a part in the movie where, and it's the part where we get "I'll be back." Did you get to that part? Have you seen that part?
I've seen it. And,
Okay.
Commercials or whatever.
Okay, so he says that line because he's asking if he can see Sarah Connor, and the guy at the police station is telling him, no, you can't. Arnold says, "I'll be back." Goes into his car, rams it through the police station, and then he starts literally offing cops one at a time until he can get to Sarah Connor. So
you gotta know, when there's no money, when it's that kind of low budget, bigger budget, you could ram a car through the police station 5, 6, 20 times if you wanted. But right. I bet you this was a one and done shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that is maybe the only problematic thing of the movie is what this person is writing in their review here. They gave it a 1 out of 10. It says horribly glorifies portraying an active shooter killing innocent people. This used to be a favorite film of mine that I rewatched every 6 months or so. The intriguing plot, the imaginative construction, Arnold's limited acting abilities given a chance to shine, and Linda Hamilton's screen presence made it a surefire winner for me. However, when I happily put the DVD in my player tonight and we settled down to once again enjoy this classic, I was startled by one scene I now found a total turnoff. This is when the Terminator is let loose with a bunch of assault weapons in the police department. He horribly, realistically plays the part of an active shooter going from room to room, killing innocent people. The film revels in this extended sequence. It's only February of this year, 2023, and the news has daily reports of active shooters wanting to slaughter helpless people with assault weapons in our schools and shopping malls. Terminator is not a documentary. It is an entertainment movie which glories in portraying an active shooter in action. And then they keep going on. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, if you look at it now, yeah.
And funny enough, I do believe, I could be mistaken, but I feel very confident in this. I'm pretty sure Cameron has even said that scene he isn't very proud of anymore, having that in the film. Back in 84, it was a very
People
different.
were shooting up schools back then.
Right. So even he has acknowledged that that's maybe the one part of the film that really hasn't aged well, and it's probably a turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't know. It's not like he could read the future and know that, our society was going to become this violent,
Yeah.
He's just a guy doing a job and trying to make something of himself. I'm sure they probably thought it was pretty fucking cool back in the 80s.
And honestly, I mean, I hate to say it, it is a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
There's really cool POV shots of the Terminator's view, like what he sees. It's pretty cool. I mean, but it is a movie at the end of the day. It's a movie. And this is like what people like to argue with video games and inspiring violence. I don't subscribe to that personally. I don't think playing a video game makes you want to actually go and do it. There's something else going on, and maybe the game is a trigger, but I don't think it's the game's fault. Similar to a movie, I think I can watch it and I don't go do it. So, but yeah. So that was the last one. I wanted to save that one for last because it did bring up a good point, but ultimately, I think it's a little harsh to give the film a 1 out of 10 for that one scene.
Yeah. And the other thing is there, are still action, adventure, thriller movies that come out more now on Hulu and Amazon and Netflix and those channels that actually come out in the theater. Just not making money in the theater yet. Yeah, I understand. He had a reaction.
He did. But look, those are the reviews that I selected. And, surprisingly, well, actually not surprisingly, going through IMDb, there's like 1,000 reviews on this film.
Wow.
It was pretty hard to find bad reviews. It is a very highly rated film. You'll constantly see masterpiece, classic, one of my all-time favorites, this is the 80s, stuff like that. And then every once in a while you get those reviews that I pulled there. But if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is literally a perfect film. It has a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So
crazy.
And you're a part of it.
It was, yeah.
So I know you haven't seen the whole thing through. Do you ever plan to see the whole thing through?
No.
You're just not into it at all.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I get it. I was there. I get it. I'm good.
You're good. What are your kind of like what do you watch a lot? Do you watch a lot of movies?
I do.
What do you like to watch?
I like Guy Ritchie movies.
Guy Ritchie, okay.
And I like Todd Haynes movies.
Okay.
And and maybe it's because I'm always in a bad mood, but I'm a big fan of shockingly Mark Wahlberg movies.
Okay.
Because he's actually really good and funny in a very sardonic way. Denzel movies. I like, spy movies, assassin movies, whatever. I like the action.
Okay. All right. Did you see Mark Wahlberg just had a movie come out that I saw in theaters with my girlfriend, Arthur the King. Did you see that one?
Oh no, but it's on I think I saw it on one of those channels.
I enjoyed it. It's
Discovery Channel, yeah.
yeah, it's one of those dog movies. I don't know if you're into dog movies. It's like the dog is one of the main characters kind of thing, but they don't talk or anything. It's not cheesy. It's based on a true story, and Mark Wahlberg is the main lead guy in that, and I thought he was surprisingly good. So,
He's very winning.
oh yeah,
He's
Yeah.
got a swagger about him. And I mean, I saw this movie just for whatever called The Gambler, that was on one of the streaming channels with John Goodman and Mark Wahlberg, and it was excellent. So who knows why people like what they like?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. I love. Have you seen any of James Cameron's movies all the way through? You have? Which one? Or which ones?
I've seen the boat one, the Titanic.
The boat one. Well, I feel like we could keep talking and talking, and honestly, I hope you had fun doing this. I hope it
Yeah,
was.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you, seriously, because like that's always something that I'm very, very focused on. I want everybody to have fun, and I so appreciate you coming on here and doing this with me, because I think this will make a lot of people smile when they listen to it and watch it. So I know you can't talk about what you have coming up, but is there anything you want to say before we wrap up, or do you want to wrap it up here?
No, there's nothing. Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Wrap it up here. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching and listening. And do you want me to link your Instagram in the show notes, or do you want me to not do that as well? If they want to follow you.
No, go ahead. That's
Okay.
okay. That's like my photography and stuff.
Perfect. So I will have Shawn's Instagram linked down below. Go check it out and support whatever she's doing over there. And like I always tell you, even though Shawn might tell me otherwise, go watch a Cameron film.